How's everyone doing? This is Jake Miller with Miller Time Sports, here with Mr. Gorski, the English teacher at Trinity High School. Now, I understand that you taught Chris Carpenter back in the day, graduated in '93. What was that like?
It was good. It was very good. He was a very quiet, reserved young man in the classroom. Did his work, participated. Not as aggressive as he was out in the diamond or on the hockey rink, but, a very good student.
So he seemed as focused and determined as he seems right now?
Absolutely. To succeed was always a goal, regardless. Again, whether it was hockey, baseball, or in English in a classroom.
So I also understand that there was a Chris Carpenter Day. What was that like?
It was very, very exciting because he had won the Cy Young Award, and as a graduate, we felt we had to give him that little extra praise. And he came in, and I had the pleasure of sitting right next to him, or he had the pleasure of sitting next to me, and very bubbly, very happy, very, glad to be back, glad to be here.
Now, does he still visit the school often, or?
Not often. He lives in Bedford. He's got a family, he's got to take care of that too.
Now, how big, we all know Chris Carpenter is about 6'6", 230. How big was he in high school?
I want to say it was about the same. He got a little beefier after he left high school, but it was a great asset to him, especially in the hockey rink. He was one of the greatest defensemen I ever watched play. I mean, he was, imagine trying to stop a slap shot by someone 6'6", 230.
Did he normally keep to himself?
He wasn't introverted, but in the classroom, he did his stuff, and that wasn't a time to socialize. So, he knew it, and acted accordingly.
So I'm guessing in the hall he was a social butterfly?
I wouldn't say he was. No. Not that he hid from it, but, you say hi, he'd say hi, that type of thing. But
pretty much just like every other normal kid?
Probably, yeah.
All right, Mr. Gorski, thank you very much for the interview. Thank you for all the insight on Chris. It's very cool to hear about what he was like back in the day to what he's evolved into now.
You're very welcome, and best of luck.
Thank you. This is Jake Miller with Miller Time Sports. I'll see you next time. How's everybody doing? Here with Coach Poisson. How you doing?
Very good.
Now, you were Chris's coach back in high school, correct?
Yes, I was.
What was that like? What was it like watching him on the mound?
Very, very hard-nosed, very much of a competitor. Worked real hard. He had a goal, and the goal was to reach the major leagues. And he was very fortunate. He was drafted in 1993, first round, 15th player pick by the Toronto Blue Jays. So now it was kind of neat seeing him go through that phase of seeing scouts take out their radar guns and see how fast he was throwing. But it was him with a group of kids that were outstanding kids, but not outstanding baseball players. Now,
did you think that he was going to make the majors? Was there no doubt in anyone's mind that he was going to go to the majors?
I think there's always some doubt in someone's mind. No matter if you get picked in the first round or in the 50th round, a lot of things have to go your way, and you hope that you stay healthy, and you hope that if something does go wrong, that somebody's able to pick you up and give you another opportunity to bounce back on your feet.
Do any games spark your mind of what Chris might have pitched back in 1993 or before then?
Oh, God. 1992, we played in the state tournament, and that's the year we won it. And Chris was pitching in the first game of that state tournament and threw a one-hitter. And then I had another lefty, Peter Foy, in the quarterfinals against Pinkerton Academy. He threw a no-hitter. And then against Dover in the same tournament, in the semis, Chris came up and had a no-hitter going for 6 2/3 innings, a pop fly, foul territory to my second baseman. He dropped it. And needless to say, that same person next pitch hit a single. So he gave up one hit. And in the finals, we gave up 3 hits. So we gave up a total of basically 5 hits in the whole tournament. So that was kind of neat.
So basically what you're saying, there was no one that had the dominance in high school around here than Chris Carpenter.
Oh, and, there wasn't anybody. No, he had a lot of things going for him. He was very competitive. He was a go-getter. He played within his own frame. He was 6'6", 225 in high school. He was this outstanding athlete. But a lot of people forget he was also a very outstanding hockey player. And he could have either got a scholarship to some place because there were some hockey schools very much interested in him. And if baseball wasn't one of his things, hockey would have been.
And so he did decide to forego college because he was drafted in high school, right out of high school.
Yeah, it was a tough pick because we had an idea where he may get picked because I was very close to a scout from Pittsburgh at the time, and he told me that more than likely, if he would not get picked within the first 19 players, this team was going to pick him number 20. So I had a very good idea that he was going to be going in the first round.
Was it apparent that he had the hunger to get to the league more than anyone else on the team? Did he have that thought that he wanted it more than anyone else?
What it is that he played on a very, very good team his senior year because, like I stated at the beginning, he played with athletes that weren't quite as good as he was, and Chris knew that no, they were there to see, and all these scouts with 35 radar guns the very first time he pitched was there to look at him. And the other kids gave them an opportunity to get looked at, not only by professional scouts, but by college scouts. And they knew that every time Chris was going to pitch, it was going to be a backstop full of scouts or college coaches.
Did Chris ever feel like he might want to take any other career path, or was it Major League Sports?
Major League was number one. He was signed and sealed and delivered to Creighton University. He signed in October of that year to play baseball at Creighton. And he was going to follow Peter Foy, who played with him here in 1992. And he was going to go to Creighton. He was signed, sealed, and delivered. The only thing that stopped him was where he was going to get drafted in the Major League draft.
And after, I believe it was 4 short years in the minors, he made his Major League debut. So it was basically like he was coming out of college. He was that age where he was coming out of college, so he had experience in the minors. So he translated that into his Major League career, and he's become the success that he is today.
Yeah, he's become very successful. He's gone through a few bumps and bruises. He's gone through a couple of Tommy John surgeries. When he got released by Toronto, it was a big loss. He had to decide what he wanted to do. Him and his wife Allison sat down and actually decided that let's give it one more shot. And that's when St. Louis decided to call and give him an opportunity to give him a tryout and sign him as a free agent.
And have you kept contact with Chris at all lately?
I've seen him a couple times. I've seen him 2 years ago in Houston, Texas. He was I had another major leaguer playing for Houston at the time, Jeff Lucchino, who went to UConn from here. They're both about the same type of kid. They're both about the same size. Jeff gave me a call, and he says, look, Coach, I want you to come to Houston and watch us play St. Louis, and I know Chris is going to be pitching, so please come up. So I went down and had an opportunity to see Jeff pitch the first game. He was a middle reliever. And then I saw Chris start the third game of the series, which he had. He went 8 innings, had a lead. I think at the time, 2-1 or 1-0, and gave it to the bullpen, and the bullpen blew it. And then at the end of the game, I had an opportunity to see Chris before he jumped on his plane to go to Washington to play the next game.
So, Chris Carpenter, world-class athlete, world-class guy. Seems like he was a very quiet, not very quiet, but a very normal kid in high school with unnatural athletic abilities that brought him to where he is today. I'd like to thank you, Coach, for talking to me about Chris. I think it's very cool that you got to see him grow into where he is today.
Thank you.
My name is Jake Miller with the Miller Times Sports, and I'll catch you next time.